Executive Director Bernie Olivas. We'll have a first moderated portion by Colleen Gunning from Duke.
Recording in progress.
For the Duke media portion, and then we'll go and get started with the El Paso media portion. So, Executive Director Bernie Olivas with an opening statement.
Yeah, thank you, Richie. We're just trying to give everybody a taste of El Paso. This weather will be here for a day, and then it'll be back in the 60s by game time. So don't let this, we're not going to get 6 inches of snow here at all, okay? I'd like to introduce our president, Tammy Gladkowski, who's sitting here next to me. But as the game gets closer, all of us are getting more excited about watching this great matchup that we have this year. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the coordinators for Duke University, beginning with Jonathan Brewer, the Duke offensive coordinator. A couple of words about him. He joined Duke football in December of '23 and serves as the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. He guided quarterback Malik Murphy to a record-setting season as Murphy threw for 2,933 yards and 26 touchdowns while setting or matching multiple Duke single-season passing marks, and also helped Henry Belling IV post a strong performance in the Tax-Slayer Gator Bowl. Before Duke, Coach Brewer spent 2 seasons at SMU as the quarterbacks coach and co-offensive coordinator, helping the Mustangs to an 18-9 record, consecutive bowl appearances, and the 2023 AAC championship while leading one of the nation's top offenses. Coach Brewer has also coached at Miami, UConn, and Auburn, bringing more than a decade of collegiate coaching experience to Durham. Ladies and gentlemen, Jonathan Brewer, Duke offensive coordinator.
Man,
Coach?
that's pretty cool. All right.
We do our
Right.
homework.
Yeah,
We do our
appreciate
homework.
it. All right, excited. What questions we got?
All right, from the Duke side of things, reminder, if you'd like to ask a question, please use the raise hand function. Connor, we'll kick it off with you.
Jonathan, I know you've got one more game, but kind of a overarching and big picture type of question. You went into this season wanting to find more success running the ball, more consistency. How would you evaluate the job that's been done on that end?
Yeah, if you look at it, we're going to, things hold true to what we've done statistically. We'll have close to a 4,000-yard passer and have a 1,000-yard rusher, which I don't think has been done in a long time at this school. And so, our biggest mindset going into the spring last year was, we've got to be more efficient at running the football. Us losing 2 tight ends last year, 2 really NFL tight ends, and Nicky Dalmolin and Jeremiah Hazley early in the season really kind of hurt us. Being able to run the football, in my opinion, to be able to run the football in college football, and especially Power 4 football, you got to have a tight ends that you can surface with, that they can be the extra blocker. And so having Jerry come back, adding Landon, Jake Taylor, even Tony Boggs in roles for us has really helped us. And then obviously, Nate Shepard and AC. Adding, you got a true freshman running back that's a freshman All-American. It helps players over plays, like we always say. And then you have true role players like AC, 11 touchdowns for what he's done this year. He's got an exact role. He knows what he does with our team. And then, Jaquez as being the third wild card with us as well. So it's been a good year.
Then one more kind of also big picture ask, how much are you looking forward to
like the song.
second year and continuing working with Darian now that he's announced that he's coming back?
Yeah, this will be the first time since bringing Kevin Jennings back at SMU that I've had a chance to coach a guy 2 years in a row. And so, for Darian, when he first got here, our whole mindset was to build the offense around him and really explore what he's really good at, what makes sense in his head. And now going into this second year, it's going to be refinement of his skills and getting him to play to the optimum performance and really, identifying key weaknesses that we've got to improve on. That's going to be the big deal. You're not reteaching an offense for a guy. What you're doing is you're refining what we do. You're becoming mastery of what we do on offense.
Jim, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, Coach. I'm a Coach Johnny from now on.
I like that. There we go.
Hope you had some opportunity to spend time with your family over the holidays. I want to ask you about Arizona State. What's the key to putting some points on the board against these guys?
Yeah, this is a really well coached team. Coach Ward and what they do, they're really good against the run. So we're going to have to be very sound up front. They do a good job there. And when you stop the run, you're really good on third down, right? They get a lot of third down and longs, create a lot of pressure and havoc on the quarterback. So, we've got to do a very good job of protecting our quarterback, very similar to when we played Clemson and Virginia in the ACC championship game, even Wake Forest. These guys are a top defense. Probably one of the top tier defenses that we played this season. So it's going to be, we got to be able to run the ball effectively. When you run the football, it sets up for second shorts, gives us a chance to push the ball vertically down the field and play fast.
We're going into Christmas break where we told that Brian Parker was the only key up down on the offense. Is that still the case?
Yeah, still the case. BP's the only guy that decided he's going to go ahead and prepare for the NFL. So it means we've got, all of our guys ready to play. And so it's, we're ready to roll.
So you moved Justin Pickett over from guard to tackle. I guess that gives him a chance to show his versatility off for the NFL scouts. But just talk a little bit about him moving from guard to tackle at this point in his career. And, is that a challenge, an opportunity, a little of both?
Yeah, Justin's a guy that's a versatile player. He's probably got longer reach than internal guards as far as his arm length. And so he played tackle somewhat the season before we got here in a sparingly situations. This is a great opportunity for him to showcase his talent, not just as a guard, but to play tackle for versatility to going into the NFL. He was excited about the opportunity. And then you got a kid like Bradley Smith coming in that's been more of a role player for us, that has played in about every third series for us, is going to be in a guard for us. And so really good look at what the future is for our right guard spot. Besides that, the rest of the offensive line's there, ready to play. Matt Craycraft, Fina, and Larson are all ready to go. So there's still a lot of continuity, still a lot of starts in there, even though you lose BP.
Okay, and one final question. Is Coach Foster going to coach in the Sun Bowl?
No, he's not. Coach Clark will be taking over. Coach Clark will be taking over the duties for that. Coach Cam Clark.
Okay, thank you.
Chip, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, a lot of coaches mentioned with bowl games, they're almost like preparing for a season opener. Is it that way for you in preparing the offense? And on the flip side of that, with Coach Ward, you mentioned a few, but what are the trademarks of Brian Ward defense? I know he's been around Syracuse and Washington State and a few other places.
Yeah, bowl games. We had the luxury of earning the right to play in a conference championship game, and so we got an extra week of practice there, and so there wasn't as long of a layoff into the bowl season. We literally had a week off, and then we were right back to bowl prep, and so our guys had a chance to get rested up. People talk about it as like it's like a spring training all over again. For our guys, we just kept doing what we've been doing, and to be successful where we get to here, and so. It also gives a chance for us to get some reps for the young guys to kind of see where we're at, evaluation of talent, moving forward, especially with the transfer portal coming up, and to really evaluate our roster and see where our needs are going to be at moving into the 26 season. We talk about it being a bridge. This is a bridge into the next year. And so what does that bridge look like? And we're all on the bridge together. And what does the ending of this bridge look like going into the 26 season? So there's been a lot of that talk with our team, which has been really good, especially on offense. And then, Coach Ward's defense, very sound, very technical. They play violently. They attack the football. They are really sound. I mean, you can see why they've been successful the last 3 years, really the last 2 years here at Arizona State, and you can see why they've got really talented players. They know the scheme, and it's going to be an exciting matchup.
Richie, that's all the questions on this then. I turn it back over to you in the room.
All right.
Thank you, Sarah. We'll go to start with the El Paso local media portion. We'll start off with El Paso Times' Felix Chavez.
I guess, Coach, just for you guys, what maybe been your biggest improvement, I guess, from August? What have you been most happy with?
So coming into August, we had guys like Andrew Anthony and Cooper Barkay join us, and Larson joined us right at the end of summer. So we had a new quarterback in the system that hadn't played a game for us. We had two of our top receivers didn't show up for us until August, and so we had to blend the offense pretty quick in fall camp, and we had to go through some adversity early on, and about 2 weeks into camp, Coach Packey's defense getting after us pretty good, and then all of a sudden it finally clicked, and the guys started believing. We kept it really simple, and we created a belief system and built upon that. And that was probably the hardest thing, but it really is the new age of college football. You got, sometimes it's going to turn into a different roster, every year. And for us to add 2 high-profile players out wide, and a high-profile quarterback that didn't throw to him all spring, to develop that. So,
Brett?
How do you go about scouting personnel from Arizona State? It's probably gonna be a lot different than what they put out there.
yeah, that's a tricky one. What you have to do is you have to watch. You have to think like if you were a defensive coordinator and I was putting out players, how would I play these guys? What kind of situations I would put them in? Would I put them in situations that are favorable for the player or situations that are unfavorable? You have to go back and watch a little bit of their high school tape, any special teams plays, any of that kind of stuff to be able to kind of see where they're at. I know Coach Dillingham does a great job in recruiting, and I know that their guys that are going to be playing for them have been recruited at a high level. They just hadn't had a chance to play. And so I think you're going to see some guys that come out there and play for them. They're going to play at a high level. It'll be their first time to kind of showcase who they are, and we're expecting their best.
We'll take one more question, Coach Brewer. Armando?
Coach, can you tell us about your experience of the Sun Bowl, experience of all this weekend with your part of the team, the offensive team? How was all the activities and stuff?
Yeah, it was probably one of the best bowl entrances that we've gotten that I've been a part of, and I've been at some other bowls and a lot of other bowls. The first night, the dinner that we got to go to and really experience the culture of El Paso was really neat for me and my wife. Just an unbelievable showcase of talents, and it was pretty neat. It was pretty cool, and our whole staff kind of really got into it. It was a pretty neat deal. Man, the treatment that we've gotten from the people here has been unlike anything I've ever experienced. Anything we need, we've been taken care of. It's such a beautiful venue, beautiful area. My kids look out the window and they see the beautiful mountains, you know what I mean? And in North Carolina, you don't see that kind of stuff, so it's pretty neat for them. And it's been a great experience for our guys. And I know our players have been extremely excited. This is one of the things, they're very grateful to be here. This is a big deal for them, and they know that this is going to be a packed-out game. They're excited to play in front of a sellout crowd, and so they're excited to get to showcase what Duke's about, the excellence at Duke, the pursuits of excellence. And so they're just excited to kind of put our brand out there for everybody to be able to see.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.
Thank you, Coach Brewer. Next, I'd like to bring up Coach Jonathan Packey, Duke's defensive coordinator. A little thing about Coach, he became to Duke in December of '23 and serves as the defensive coordinator and linebackers coach. And his first season in Durham, Packey led one of the nation's top defenses as the Blue Devils ranked among the nation's leaders in tackles for loss, sacks, turnovers gained, and fumbles recovered, while pacing the ACC in multiple defensive categories and producing 9 All-ACC honorees. Before Duke, Coach Packey was the defensive coordinator at Texas State and Incarnate Word, guiding both programs to historic seasons, and previously spent 6 seasons at Miami under Coach Manny Diaz on consistently bowl qualifying defenses. Coach Packey brings more than a decade of experience developing elite defensive units and all-conference and all-American performers. Coach Packey led the Duke defenses into a 2025 ACC championship, the program's first conference championship in 36 years. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Jonathan Packey.
Thanks for having me.
We'll start off with Sarah's end.
Alright, Duke Media here on Zoom reminder, please use the raise hand function. We'll get it rolling here with Connor.
Jonathan, what do you think it's going to be like? Or I guess you've already had a bunch of practices to see this, but what's it going to be like to coach a game without Chan or VJ out there?
Yeah, it's hard to see those guys not out there practicing. They were a big part of our defense the last 2 years. But our guys have taken it in strides. They understand that somebody else has to step up, and it's good for our younger guys. And we're happy for Chan and VJ, and Chan obviously getting the invite to the Senior Bowl was big for our program, big for him. And you know, he's got to go chase his dreams, and it's good for our guys to step up and opportunity to play against a really, really good team.
Just kind of building on that, how much of this game, specifically to the defense, is kind of a peek into the future of what you'll have for next year with guys, specifically in corner with Landon and Kamari?
Yeah. Again, you know, thinking back to the ACC championship and having Caleb Lanier out there with 4 minutes to go in the game. So, again, another opportunity for young guys to showcase, like Coach Brewer was saying, a bridge into our future, into next season and what we need and where we're short. It's another opportunity to evaluate our team and for them to get an evaluation on themselves going into off season and what they need to improve on against, again, a really talented Arizona State team.
Jim, go ahead.
Yeah, hey, Jonathan, kind of the obverse of the question I asked Coach Moore. What's the key to keeping Arizona State off the board, particularly how do you scout a team where you've got a whole bunch of people you don't have a lot of tape on?
Yeah, you know, personnel is hard to find who's playing, who's not playing. They have a lot of really talented players that obviously have declared for the NFL draft. So, but you go back and look at their offensive coordinator and their head coach and what they like to do against a style of defense as we are. You know, they want to run the football. They are one of the top rushing offenses in the Big 12. So, you know, that's in their DNA. They want to run the football, and they have a quarterback that can run. So, obviously preparing for a QB that can beat you with his feet and his arm. He's very, very talented. He's played a lot of football. So, you know, the key to any game, again, especially in a bowl game where guys have been off for 3 weeks, again, it's like an opener, right? So turnovers, takeaways, right? Guys haven't been tackled, and we haven't tackled in 3 weeks. So we have to tackle really well to keep the explosive plays down. We have to limit the explosive plays, don't let the ball thrown over our head, and we have to get off the field on third down. So I think if we do those things, we'll have success.
One of the keys to the 3-game winning streak at the end of the season was putting pressure on opposing quarterbacks. You're going to have to do that without BJ Ken. I don't know who's going to fill in for him, Reed or Bryce or whoever, but without BJ Ken, you continue to have that kind of disruptive pass rush.
Yeah, obviously Wes Williams is a big part of that. So look forward to him having a good game for us. And then Tyshawn Reed steps in, and Kev, and we feel really good about our defensive end room top to bottom. Coach Bauer's done a great job of recruiting and stacking talent in every class. So, and it'll be exciting to watch those guys get more snaps and roll those guys in this game. But the success over over ACC play in general is 20 takeaways and only 3 given away to our opponent. We're plus 17 in takeaways. You want to win a conference championship, win that turnover margin. And you want to win a bowl game after 3 weeks of being off, win the turnover margin. That'll be a big indicator of who's going to win the game.
Thanks.
Chip, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, speaking of turnovers, flashing back to that ACC championship game, just how satisfying was it for you and the defense to end that game with Luke Margot's interception? And certainly, I was also wondering, have you been able to pry the ball out of his hands?
No, he took that ball home, and it's in his bed, so it's like his little pillow now. So, which I told him, I said, guys, you get a big turnover in a game like that, hand me the ball and I'll take it for you. So, but in a game like that where in the season that Luke's had, going back to Cal early in the season, he really hasn't come off the field. And there's always moments in a season where the game rewards people that have played like he's played over the last 8 weeks. And it just so happened, and it came in the biggest moment of the game, and really goes back to doing his job on a trick play where I even told him this 8 weeks earlier, he was going to go chase that ball down in the backfield. But he sniffed it out. He did his job. He turned and found, and the quarterback made a mistake late in the game, and he not to mention he caught the ball. The receiver did a great job trying to punch the ball out, but it's so rewarding to see a guy come up with a play like that that's played really well all year.
Richie, back to you, sir.
Sounds good. We'll start with El Paso Media. We'll go with Felix Chavez again.
Hi, Coach.
Hey.
A lot of ties to Texas, and I know you worked with Coach Diaz for a long time. I guess maybe address both of those.
Yeah, born and raised in Houston. Love this state. A lot of great talent in this state. Recruiting this state for a long time. Got to coach in San Antonio at Texas State as well. Played in East Texas. So I kind of been all over the state. But like I said, born and raised in Houston, means a lot to play in this state, and hopefully play well. And then Coach Diaz, first worked for Coach Diaz in 2014 at Louisiana Tech. Little did I know, we kind of going on our journey together. Louisiana Tech to Mississippi State, 6 years in Miami, and then took a break. He goes to Penn State, and I go to UIW to opportunity to call the defense after calling special teams for him. And it was really good for my career to do that, to step away, and then obviously to get the call back. It's important to me, and it means a lot when your mentor calls you back to work for him. So he's been a mentor and a friend for a long, long time, 10 years this season.
Guess they're gonna put a whole new offensive line out there. How do you scout that, and how do you go about exploiting something like that?
Yeah, it's hard to scout it, right? They both their tackles are very talented. They're big. They ran the ball well. But like Coach Brewer said, they've got some young talent. We're just banking that they're going to throw their young guys out there and they're going to be ready to play. And how to exploit it, we got to do what we do. We got to play at a high level. We got to play fast. We got to play physical. And little things you look for in a bowl game is people doing their job, right? You don't press, don't try to make plays that aren't yours to make. Just be sound on defense and play really hard and tackle really well.
One more question for Coach. Okay, we'll go to Armando.
Coach, I would like to ask the same thing as the Coach Brewer. How do you live in the experience of the Sun Bowl?
Yeah, the city's been great. It's beautiful. Yeah, like Coach Brewer said, that first night, the experience to get the taste of the whole city and all the traditions, and we had a blast. If you hadn't seen Coach Diaz on stage with the guitar, so we are engulfed in living in the Sun Bowl and what it's providing for us. The venue of where we practice is one of the nicest high school stadiums I've ever seen. The meeting rooms are beautiful. You know, everything's been top notch, and our guys are enjoying it. The food's been good, and it's been a really good experience.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Get a closing statement from Bernie Olivas.
Yeah, well, this concludes our coordinators' press conferences. Tomorrow, we will have the head coaches' press conference here. What time?
Coach Diaz will be at 10 a.m. Coach Dillingham will be at 1 p.m.
Like 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. Again, the weather will clear up, and we're going to have a great game. We're going to have a tremendous game. Like I said, the city's excited about the matchup. Everybody I talked to, ticket sales are going very well. Expect a full house. So thank you, coaches, taking some time out. I know y'all have practice and meetings, everything, but I appreciate y'all doing this for us. Thank you very much.
We're going to get a quick...
Since 1935, one event has brought us together for the passion, the pageantry, and the celebration of the upper echelon of college football. The Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. New Year's Eve at noon. Don't miss El Paso's greatest game.